This is Our Time, main edition. At this hour, in the studio, Andrei Sinitsyn. Hello. Thousands of families in 7 regions are currently left without power after last night's strikes in Russia. This was reported by the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy. In total, the Russian Terrorist Federation launched more than 450 attack drones and 30 missiles of various types at Ukrainian settlements last night. We are doing everything we can to restore supply and improve the situation, the president emphasized. And once again, he called on the world to put pressure on the Kremlin. After all, such actions by the aggressor make it clear that Russia does not intend to end the war against Ukraine.
So that everyone can now see what Russia is doing. Every step they take in terrorizing our people, all the attacks. Because this is definitely not about ending the war. They still want to destroy our state, to inflict as much pain as possible on our people. That is exactly why we need support in everything that can help protect lives and end this war. Strengthening air defense and our soldiers on the front line, increasing our long-range capabilities, and ramping up pressure on Russia. For all our diplomatic efforts to yield results, we need to put pressure on the aggressor so that they end the war they started. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, president of Ukraine, on Telegram.
There are power outages in the south, especially in the Odesa, Mykolaiv, and Kherson regions. The Dnipropetrovsk, Kirovograd, and Chernihiv regions were also targeted by drone and missile attacks. More than 1 million subscribers are currently without power, according to Ukraine's Ministry of Internal Affairs. In the Kherson region, 7 people were injured. Apartment buildings, 14 private homes, and cars were damaged. The points of invincibility have been switched to enhanced mode. Public transportation is operating with disruptions. Electricity and water supply have been disrupted. The Odesa region has experienced one of the largest attacks by Russia. This was reported by the Regional Military Administration. Civilian, energy, and industrial infrastructure facilities have been damaged. According to preliminary data, 4 people were injured. No information about fatalities has been reported. Administrative buildings, energy facilities, and warehouses with textile products caught fire. Rescuers are eliminating the consequences of the shelling. Some areas are experiencing power outages, and there is no heat or water. City hospitals have already switched to autonomous operation using alternative power sources. A supply of water and fuel has been secured. Points of invincibility are being set up in Odesa.
My home is destroyed. Windows, well, those can be repaired. This is where my bed was. I used to sleep here. This is where I used to air things out. Right here, you see something burned flew into my house. It hit me on the back. There's a burn mark on this sweater. I put it out right away with a blanket. A loud noise woke us up. Something was falling in our direction. And I heard something approaching and crashing into the neighboring house. My daughter lived there. I grabbed the dog and my mom and I ran outside. All I cared about was my daughter's life. I was shouting, "Lenochka, are you alive?" She shouted back, "Yes."
Last night, Mykolaiv region was also hit by Russian strikes. As a result of the attack, 5 people were injured, according to the Regional Military Administration. 3 people were hospitalized, including a 16-year-old girl. Settlements in the Bashtenka and Mykolaiv districts, as well as critical infrastructure and electric transport in the regional center, were left without power. Currently, all critical infrastructure facilities are being switched to generators. The Czech Republic has supplied Ukraine with 1.8 million rounds of ammunition. This was reported by former Czech Prime Minister Petr Fiala on the social network X. Earlier, the country's president, Petr Pavel, stated that his country must continue to support Ukraine, not only for ideological reasons, but also for practical ones. And this is despite calls to reconsider support from parties forming the future government coalition. On Monday, December 15th, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy will visit Germany to meet with Chancellor Friedrich Merz and European leaders. This was stated in a message from the German government. Merz and Zelenskyy will discuss economic issues and the state of peace negotiations regarding Ukraine. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel will also attend the meeting. Macron. The European Union will not return frozen assets to Russia until the aggressor country pays reparations to Ukraine. This was stated by EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas on the social network X. She reminded that the EU has decided to freeze Russian funds indefinitely. According to Callas, this guarantees that about 210 billion euros of Russian assets will remain in the European Union if Russia does not fully compensate Ukraine for the damage.
This ensures that Russian assets worth up to 210 billion euros will stay in the EU until Russia pays Ukraine full compensation for the damage cost. We will continue to increase pressure on Russia until it starts taking negotiations seriously. The European Council meeting next week will be crucial for ensuring Ukraine's financial needs are met in the coming years. Kaja Kallas, head of EU diplomacy, on the social network X.
This decision closes a dangerous loophole and should remain in effect as long as Russia's actions threaten the security and economic stability of the European Union. This is how Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiga commented on the EU's decision to block the transfer of Russia's frozen assets. This is a timely and decisive step in protecting Europe and supporting Ukraine, Sybiga emphasized. More and more often, robots are carrying out military tasks on the front lines. They take on the riskiest missions, in places where infantry can't get through and artillery can't reach. The Slobozhansky Skif Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine demonstrated the operation of one of their ground robotic systems. It is made in Ukraine, can transport up to 400 kilograms of various cargo, evacuate the wounded, and be used during assaults on enemy positions. How does the crew of the Guardsmen learn to operate the machine called Bro? Natalia Belakudra saw it firsthand.
This is the Bro Ground Robotic Complex, designed to perform logistics, evacuation, and special transport tasks in combat conditions. It is the latest Ukrainian development, with a prototype released in 2024. Subsequently, one of the GRCs was transferred to the Skif Brigade to operate in the North Slobozhansky direction.
Because of our location, we understand that the enemy is very close to you, so we realize the need to deliver drinking water, food, ammunition, and so on for the personnel to preserve lives.
The Guardsman with the call sign Gray is mastering a new specialty. He is a GRC operator gunner and is now preparing to send the robot on a mission.
Right now, I'm trying to switch it to radio control. Before this, it was connected for control via a laptop.
Senior Sergeant Gray has been at the front since 2023. He was the commander of a mortar crew. He defended Lipsty and Kupiansk and went through Kremenina and Klishivka. When his unit was transferred to the Kharkiv region, the command offered him to become a GRC operator. Controlling the robot turned out to be not so easy, Gray admits.
You can compare it to a game joystick, but the specifics are a bit different. You have to hold it differently, and everything is much more sensitive. You can make mistakes. That's why you have to work very, very carefully. It has a specific feature in its turning mechanism, this particular GRC, where you have to anticipate it. So you realize that to make it turn, you have to adjust it. Basically, you have to think ahead for it in advance.
Gray has been testing the devices right in the combat zone for a month now. He's assisted by a fighter with the call sign Raccoon, the unit's chief technician. The Energo crew consists of 2 people. One operates the drone, while the other monitors the situation in the air to give directions on where to go. The unit weighs 300 kilograms, but it can carry up to 400 kilograms.
The number 15, exactly. That's the precise value.
Kilometers per hour. It's moving. The maximum is 400 kilograms, but ideally it's better to keep it at 200 to 250, no more. It all depends on the weather conditions. If the weather is good, you can carry more. If it's like what we're seeing now, then not so much. You need to load it up because it doesn't climb hills very well.
The engineers who developed Bro say the main difference between this system and other NRCs is its high off-road capability.
Thanks to our chassis, which is all metal, it isn't afraid of debris or anti-personnel mines, and is quite capable off-road.
Gry and Enot are confident that soon robots will replace humans in the most dangerous areas of the front line. That's why the development of modern Ukrainian military technologies is one of the main areas that Ukraine's defense forces are actively working on. Natalia Balakudra, Andrei Domovoy from Kharkiv region for Freedom TV channel.
Subscribe to The Gaze and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukrainian all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.